Many thanks for joining us at this hour on QTV. You are watching QTV News and I am Ajibintu Drame. In tonight's top stories. Today has been a day for elections news both nationally and internationally. The much anticipated Nyamina West by-election has ended and Biram Sow of the NPP has been elected as the National Assembly member for the constituency. In the Kir Jarga Ward councillorship elections, President Barrow's NPP has secured the first council electoral success. The National Enterprise Development Initiative, NEDI, on Saturday commenced a 5-day training course on essential business management skills for the West Coast region. In international news, President Trump has lost his bid for re-election and Joe Biden, a vice president under Barack Obama, will be the 46th president of the United States of America. As the final U.S. election results are delivered between Joe Biden and President Trump, we draw comparison to that of Gambia and Guyana's former presidents over alleged voter fraud when results did not go in their favor. The first government-funded mosque in Athens opened its doors to worshippers on Friday after years of delays. In sports news, First Division sides Birkama United and Gamtel have expressed optimism ahead of the new league season due to start in December. Those were our top stories for tonight's bulletin. Do stay tuned for the news in detail. In local news, the much anticipated Nyamina West by-election has ended and Biram Sow of the NPP has been elected as the National Assembly member for the constituency. In the votes tallied by QTV in all the elections poll, 2,521 votes were cast and Biram Sow of the NPP polled 1,716, constituting 68% of the vote, to his opponents 805, being 32% of the votes cast. In the Kir Jarga Ward councillorship elections, President Barrow's NPP has secured their first council electoral success. In the final tally, our guy of NPP scored 1,364, Yama Cham of the GDC scored 700, Modusila UDP scored 257, and Wuye Jara of the APRC scored 446 votes. Our Cham of the NPP is therefore elected as the new councillor of the Kir Jarga Ward. The National Enterprise Development Initiative, NEDI, on Saturday commenced a 5-day training course on essential business management skills for the West Coast region. The training seeks to prepare trainees to access support from the Youth Revolving Loan Fund. More in this report. The training at the Regional Education Office in Birkama aims to teach young people to become innovative and skillful entrepreneurs for self-empowerment to contribute to national development. The General Manager of the National Enterprise Development Initiative, Abbas Ba, thanked partners for their diligent efforts throughout the process and highlighted the importance of the training.
The majority of the youth entrepreneurs will be successful, looking at the components that we are going to expose them, particularly in financial management, in record keeping, in negotiation with contracts, in store keeping, and also in entrepreneurship-related activities. We also help them to ensure that they register their businesses, they open their bank account, so that they can become real entrepreneurs in their own right.
Sila Konate, NEDI chairman, gave an assurance that the organization will work closely with the Ministry of Sports to endorse the initiative of the youths and ensure they all benefit.
I assure you that the board will support NEDI under the Ministry of Youth and Sports to stay relevant, sustainable, and serve the purpose of youth enterprise and entrepreneurship development to generate employment and enterprise opportunities.
The governor of the West Coast region, Lamin Sane, advised the young and aspiring entrepreneurs to take the training seriously, be innovative, and be job creators.
The NDP has catered for the young people of this country, and especially the business entrepreneurship. We have the Senegambia Women Association working into business entities between Gambia and Senegal. Just last week or even this week, Monday, I saw them on TV, all about trying to transfer knowledge and skills to young people of this country, much more the female, the young girls. So therefore, I think this opportunity that all of you should try to ensure that government has given the opportunity, grasp on it.
The Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, Julde Cisse, shares her thoughts on the initiative.
Implementation is done by three institutions. The Ministry of Youth and Sports implements part of this Youth Development Fund. The Social Development Funds also implement the Youth Revolving Loan Scheme. And third, the National Enterprise Development Initiatives will implement the training, coaching, mentorship program and the provision of mini grants for the youth of the country.
Binta L.Y. Toure, a participant and aspiring entrepreneur, says the training will encourage her to share her experience and will help her turn her ideas into reality. She also advises youth to venture into entrepreneurship for the betterment of the nation.
So the trainers that I'm not going to be those young people who will start a business and run away because of the risks. But I'm ready to take risks because in life, anything you see in life, you need to take risks. I'm ready to take the risk in starting a business. And in doing my business, I don't want my business to benefit only me alone. I want to make sure to employ other young people around my side because there are a lot of young people around my side. So I try by all means to come up with a business idea that can employ other young people in my region, especially my community, in order to bring that sense of that sense and to limit the rate of unemployment in my region.
The permanent secretary of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Sekou Sanyang, urged the entrepreneurs to apply what they will learn into skills. Youth occupy 60% of the Gambia's population. As they are the future hopes of every society, it is important to give them an opportunity to showcase their skills and exquisite talents. Ajibintu Drame, Qtv News. We will take a short commercial break. Up next is international news. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. Let's take a look at America. The news that Donald Trump and his supporters did not want to hear appears to have been confirmed. Joe Biden will be the 46th president of the United States of America. More in this report.
When the news came, it was as chaotic as the election that preceded it. Most news channels, including Trump-supporting Fox News, the most reluctant to concede defeat, were reporting that Democrat Joe Biden had passed the 270 Electoral College votes threshold. The news was reported widely, despite there being no official announcement, and given his see you in court stance, there was no concession from Donald Trump. The result is a bitter blow for Donald Trump, who in typically brash style has considered himself among the best, if not the best president of the USA. Mr. Trump has already launched legal challenges, prompting a Stop the Steal movement by his supporters. Staying true to type and in keeping with this acrimonious contest, even as all media houses called the result, Donald Trump tweeted that Biden was rushing to pose as a winner. More than anything, he would not have seen himself as a one-term president. By Monday, we should know whether the incumbent's attempt to overturn some or all of the result has succeeded, and we will have a more detailed analysis of the election result and the fallout. For now, it appears that Mr. Trump will have to leave the White House. Ansmane Sonyasi for Qtv News.
As the final U.S. election results are delivered between Joe Biden and President Trump, the political atmosphere has turned wild, dramatic and uncertain, causing many people on social media to draw a comparison between Donald Trump and the Gambia and Guyana's former presidents, amongst others, over alleged voters' fraud when results did not go in their favor. Momodu Lamin Choi reports.
The USA's 2020 presidential election has more than ever captured global attention. But this time around, one of, if not the most heavily contested election in the history of American politics has happened with unfolding dramatic episodes that have raised eyebrows and comment on traditional and social media. America, a country that is praised and self-praises itself as the global epitome of democracy, has today got a president who has become an object of ridicule and drawn comparison with Africa's former and current dictators and quasi-dictators. The comparison relates to President Trump's claim of voter fraud when his confidence to sweep the polls was dashed by Biden's narrow lead in the votes, a behavior that is commonly associated with Africa's autocrats. The leader who have set a precedent similar to that of Trump's behavior in this year's election include former Presidents David E. Granger of Guyana and Gambia's very own Yahya Jammeh. Both of these former presidents tried to cling to the last straw to hold onto power, thereby peddling unsubstantiated claims of fraud. Trump's discomfort over the mail-in voting system has led to his false claim that it would lead to a rigged election, a falsehood gladly taken by his supporters. So, it is not surprising to many after his share of the vote dwindled when the mail-in votes were being counted, and he described them as illegal, demanding that counting should be stopped at some of the swing states for a recount. Of course, in Africa, a president can probably order such a thing, much harder to accomplish in America. While more of Trump's dramatic reaction to the election results are what most expected, social media have become the platform for a historical and unkind comparison of Trump's behavior to that of former South American president. In March this year, in Guyana, former President David E. Granger had baselessly claimed that there were elements of people in the country who tried to manipulate votes, suggesting that these included fraud by dead people and non-citizens. Like Trump, Granger resorted to the courts, which was followed by a recount leading to him standing down after a 5-month standoff. The Gambia, like Guyana and the US, has had its experience of post-electoral crisis. In the past few days on the eve of US election, a modified photo of former President Yahya Jammeh with President Trump's head have gone viral on social media with the quote, "I announce to you Americans my total rejection of the election results." This is a slightly modified quote of Jammeh in 2016, when he announced his rejection of the presidential election result after conceding defeat to current President Barrow. Jammeh claimed that the election was rigged, declared an annulation and a rerun, and filed a petition to the Supreme Court. Post-election violence is typical of many African elections and in other parts of the world, with incumbents or oppositions known for their quick rejection of results when they are on the verge of losing. The United States, a country that has always wanted to serve as a global referee for democracy and democratic values, and also widely known for its condemnation and sanctions against dictators, is facing a real test of its democratic values, with an incumbent president casting doubt on the integrity and legality of its democratic electoral process. This has never happened before, at least not in America. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, Qtv News.
The first government-funded mosque in Athens opened its doors to worshippers on Friday after years of delays caused by protests and legal challenges from religious and political factions. The story by Babukar Sise is narrated by Mahmoud Lamin Choi.
The move has finally shaken up the city's infamous reputation as the only European capital with no mosque. Hundreds of thousands of Muslims live in Athens, but the city has not had a formal mosque for nearly 200 years ago. Supervised by the Greek state, the 350-capacity mosque, which has neither a minaret nor a dome, is in the industrial area of Elionas, near a refugee camp. Amid a coronavirus outbreak, only a limited number of worshippers, wearing face masks and sitting at a distance from each other, attended prayers. Despite this breakthrough, other Muslims are unhappy with the mosque's appearance. It is a grey rectangular structure with no dome or minaret. The head of the Muslim Association of Greece has said that it is a historic moment for the Muslim community living in Athens. The association, however, added that the mosque does not resemble a place of worship. Greece was under the rule of the Ottoman Empire for centuries, until 1829, when the Greek population succeeded in gaining independence. At the time, there were many mosques and other Ottoman architecture all over Greece. However, the riots and independence triggered a wave during which all such architecture was damaged, completely destroyed, removed or converted to other uses, eventually leaving Athens without any mosque. Among the structures still standing are Sitaraskis Mosque, an Ottoman mosque built in 1759 in Monastiraki Square, central Athens, Greece, which now functions as an annex of the Museum of Greek Folk Art. The Fethi Mosque, or Mosque of the Conquest, a 17th century Ottoman mosque in central Athens, Greece, was repurposed after Greek independence in 1834. It fell into disrepair, but after renovations it was reopened to the public in 2017 and hosts cultural exhibitions. Since 1890, there have been multiple attempts to build a mosque in Athens. Several laws have been passed on creating an official mosque in Athens since 1890. Attempts have taken place back in 1934 and 2004, and yet none of them succeeded. The first law passed by the Greek parliament about constructing what was called a Turkish mosque after independence in the Athens area was in 1890. It never came to fruition. The project to build this mosque took about 14 years and encountered protests, political controversy and delays in what is a heavily Orthodox Christian country. The matter eventually went to Parliament, which eventually approved construction in August 2016. The mosque is located in a mainly industrial area of the capital and was intended to provide an official place of worship for the city's Muslim community, which largely consists of migrants and visitors. Muslims in Athens had been using informal prayer rooms set up in places such as unused stores and basements, which sometimes led to tension and protests from other local residents. Greater Athens has a population of 3.2 million, of which 500,000 are Muslims. Many of them have welcomed the mosque, saying at least it is a start. Under a lockdown to curb a surge in COVID-19 infections, gatherings for formal worshipping will be banned from Saturday until the end of November. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, Qtv News.
We will take a short break. When we come back, up next is sports news. Do stay tuned. Welcome back once again. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. And now to sports. First Division sides Birkama United and Gamtel have expressed optimism ahead of the new league season due to start in December. Our reporter Momodu Gajaga spoke to the coaches of both football clubs at the Birkama Mini Stadium, and this is his report.
Gamtel are preparing for both the league and the CAF Confederation Cup preliminaries, but there is uncertainty over the start of the Continental Club competition. Even though they are meant to be playing on November 27th, they are yet to know their opponents. Jim Kebe is the coach of Gamtel FC.
We are preparing for the league, and then I think this is our third test game as far as the coming season is concerned. And then this happens to be one of our best games so far. We are improving, game by game. Yesterday we played against Bombarda, and then we won them by 3-0. But Bombarda is in the second division, and today we're here. We played against Birkama United, who are also competing in the first division. So we are at par, and then we happen to win them by 2-0. The performance was better today than yesterday.
While Gamtel contemplate their participation in Continental Club football, champions Birkama United are trying to assess their team in preparation for the upcoming Football League season. Birkama won the GFF League title in 2019. Coach Modulame Nyasi told QTV that his side will fight hard to retain their league title.
Like I always said, Birkama, we are not only there to participate, but we always come to compete. And this time around also we will compete, inshallah. It's not going to be easy because it's a new season, and then it has been a long time. Over 6 months players we are sitting, so it's difficult. So before we get the best of the players, it's going to take time. So this is why we are playing our pre-season test matches, so that the players can gel and then have more playing time, and then so that will also help a lot. So, but then this time around is the same. Birkama will always come and compete.
The 2019-2020 GFF First Division League was cancelled by the Football Federation due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Gamtel, who were third at the time, were drafted in to represent the country in the 2020-2021 CAF Confederation Cup, following Real de Banjul's decision not to take part. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Before we end this bulletin, let's take a quick look at our main stories. Today has been a day for election news, both nationally and internationally. The much-anticipated Nyamina West by-election has ended, and Biram Sow of the NPP has been elected as the National Assembly member for the constituency. In the Ker Jarga Ward Councillorship election, President Barrow's NPP has secured their first council electoral success. The National Enterprise Development Initiative, NEDI, on Saturday commenced a 5-day training course on essential business management skills for the West Coast region. In international news, President Trump has lost his bid for re-election, and Joe Biden, a vice president under Barack Obama, will be the 46th president of the United States of America. As the final U.S. election results are delivered between Joe Biden and President Trump, we draw a comparison to that of Gambia and Guyana's former presidents over alleged voter fraud when results did not go in their favor. The first government-funded mosque in Athens opened its doors to worshippers on Friday after years of delays. In sports news, First Division sides Birkama United and Gamtel have expressed optimism ahead of the new league season due to start in December. Well, that's it from me in tonight's bulletin. Thanks for watching and join us tomorrow for another bulletin. Do stay tuned.